All right. We are live. Yes, yes. What's up, Jakub? Just gonna be doing all the promo on socials, all the boring stuff, and then it's so annoying when you just like want to go on Instagram and then someone plays a silly song on there. But yeah. Oh. Yes, yes, Josh. What's going on? All right, give me 2 minutes. And then yeah, I get a few more people. Yeah, I've got to figure out like how to yes, Kevin, what's up? I've got to figure out how to get I've got to figure out how to stream with my PlayStation 5. I've got no idea how to do it. I'll have to figure it out at some point. Yeah. And then I need to put my phone away. And then we'll get started. Yes, yes, what's going on? Hello, Chris. PS5. Nah. Yo, what's going on? Okay, so getting the whiteboard ready. So last time I was on the stream, we were talking about triads, and now we're going to be talking about diads. Sorry, we're talking about diads, and now we're going to be talking about triads. So this is going to be the triad stream. Not to get confused with the gang, but this is all about triads, 3-note chords. And yeah, phone away. Okay, there we go. All right, let's get started, because if people are slow, people are slow. Right, okay. This one's for the chat. What's the notes of the A minor scale? Notes of the A minor scale. Let's go. Nasty chords from the Loss of Curse and Reverence. Some are in there. Yeah, because triad. I will explain. I'll explain. Cool. 500 quid for the latest voice. Okay, cool. So the A minor scale starts with an A. Then what's the next note? Yes, there we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Okay, so we're gonna remember we're gonna be working from the A minor scale because it's the easiest to work with when it comes to scales. Let's bring the seat up a bit. Okay, cool. So now, if you remember, how do we create diads using the scale? Diatonic diads using the scale. But I think Josh has it. It's the relative major. So the relative major basically is the A minor scale starting from the third note. So that would be C major. C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. Yeah. So those are the thirds. Now, if we play these two notes together, what kind of chords do we get? So if we have an A note and a C note, what dyad would that be? Or more specifically, would that be a major dyad or a minor dyad? A and C. Remember, that's a distance of 4 frets, because this is going to be important. 3 frets and 4 frets. There we go. Minor dyad. Okay. So this is going to be, I'm going to do another line there. A minor. Cool. Then what about B and D? You can use your guitars. You can use your guitars to help you. B and D, how many frets are there between those notes? And what kind of dyad would that be? Would that be major or minor? Let's go in the chat. Let's go in the chat. Yes, minor. So that'll be B minor. My guitar on B standard. Yeah, dude, I feel you. It gets a bit tricky. That's why it's nice having the 7-string, because you get the low B here plus all of the E notes. It's great. Cool. And then C and E. What chord would that be? So we've got A minor, B minor, then we have, what's next? If you've watched the previous stream, you'll be able to know exactly what it is. Yep, C major. So we can just have C there. Excellent. D and F. C, D and F, is that major or minor? Yep, D minor dyad. And to speed things up, let's see if you guys can do the next 3 chords. Oh, hello, Susanna. What's up? So E and G makes what kind of dyad? Yep, you got it. E minor, F and A. Yep, F major. F's in the chat. Yep. And then G and B will be what? G and B. No, it's not minor. It's not minor because there's 4 frets between. Diminished, we're going to talk about diminished soon, but we need to make sure we've got the core bass understanding first. Nobody? Okay, I'll spare your misery. It's G major, regular G major. All right. So this stuff is super important because we're going to be talking about triads now, which is adding another layer of harmony using more notes. So I'm just going to rub this out and clean it up a bit, because this is going to get super important in a moment. Okay, so if you have a pen and paper, this is where all of the triad knowledge is going to be coming from. So yeah, we got there C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. Okay, so very, very quickly, very quickly. Yeah, if you've watched the previous, you've got to watch the previous stream. That's talking about what we're doing now. But yeah, we're going to be talking about triads here. Okay, so very quickly before we discuss triads, remember a dyad is a 2-note chord, and a triad is a 3-note chord. Okay, so that's the biggest difference between the two. And now we need to talk about. Thank you, Dave. Yes, this stream will be available. I keep all my streams available. So we've got to talk about the intervallic structure between a dyad and a triad. What are they made from in music terms? So a dyad has a root note, a third, and that's pretty much it. If you're playing a normal diatonic dyad using the notes within the scale, it's always going to be a root and then then the third, and it could be a major or a minor third. Now for a triad, we have a root note, a third, and something called a fifth interval. So the fifth interval is using the fifth note up in the scale, basically. Yes, we add the fifth. We add a perfect fifth for most of them, but it's not always a perfect fifth. And I'm going to explain why shortly. Okay, because this part here is extremely critical before we move forward, as well as the understanding of this. So the distance between a root note to a minor third is 3 frets, and a root note to a major third is 4 frets. Okay, this is going to be pretty important when it comes to adding in an extra layer of harmony. Okay, so I'm going to leave this up here while I sip my tea so you guys can write this down if you're taking notes. Okay, now adding a fifth to I'll explain the power chord diad triad thing in a moment. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, because this is basically your root note harmony, this is your third harmony, then it's going to be fifth harmony. So the fifth is the fifth note up in the scale. So we're going to go up 1, 2. We're going to go up basically 2 and 2 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to be starting on an E. Okay. So here, if you start on A and you got 2 frets, you found your third, and I mean 2 notes. I'll say that again. So if you start on A, and if you got 2 frets in the scale from A to C, that's a jump of 2 notes, and you would have your third interval, and it could be a major third or a minor third. Now, if you go up to the fifth note in the scale, so that's 2 and 2, then you're harmonizing this second section here with your thirds with fifths. So that's where it all stems from. So we follow the same pattern. So A, C, E, B, D, we got 2 notes, 1, 2, to F, and then it continues C, E, G, A, B, C, back to D. Okay. Now, this is where we are going to talk about different types of fifths. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to work in major thirds and minor thirds. So that's, remember, distance of 4 frets, distance of 3 frets. Okay, so A to C, we know it's going to be major, because the third is what defines a chord as being major or minor. So we start with A, which is our root, major third, because it's 4 frets from A to C. I'm just going to, you don't need to write anything after major. And then also we have this interval here called the perfect fifth. Okay, and the perfect fifth is 7 frets up on the guitar. Now, to get to a perfect fifth from C, it's up 4 frets. So you're going to see what I mean in a minute. So A to C, sorry, is C to E is, my bad. Yeah, 4 frets. Oh yeah, sorry, so it's my bad. A to C is minor, not major. I'm getting confused. I'm being stupid. Right, so it's A minor. So A to C is 3 frets. C to E is 4 frets. Hence 7, perfect fifth, which makes it a normal, regular A minor note, A minor chord with the chords A, C, and E. So to show you guys on guitar very quickly, because it might be a bit easier this way, not a 7 string. I think this is in standard. I think it might be in tune. Right. So A is here, 5th fret on low E. And then we need to find the note and then we need to find C. And that note is 3 frets up, because it's a minor third up. And then So then we play those two notes together, A, 5th fret on low E, C, 3rd fret on A. And now we need to find the next note, which is an E. So we already know where C is. And we also know that from C to E, it's 4 frets. So we find our C note. Right there, we got 4 frets. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the next note, the E, is the 7th fret on A. But also, if we want to play it as a chord, we can't play those 3 notes together if 2 notes are on the same string. So what we do is we move this E note here to the 2nd fret on D. So now we have your A minor chord, because we've got the notes A, we go a minor third up, and then we go another major third up to that perfect 5th interval, creating our A minor chord. And if you break it down by just finger shapes, you've got your A minor diad here, and your C major diad here. And if you put them all together, that's how you create your A minor triad. Does that all make sense? Give me a thumbs up or a yes or a fish in the chat if you do understand. If you don't understand, put in a cabbage or something. I don't know, a vegetable, an eggplant or something. All right, cool. Confused? I'll break it down again. Let's work again here. Okay, so this is the 5th fret on the low E string. We know that's an A note. Here, bam. Now we need to create the A minor chord by using your root note, your starting note, and then you go up to the C note, which is 3 frets up. So the note is 3 frets up on the guitar, which makes it a minor third. So from A, 3 frets up is the note of C. But if we want to play a chord, we cannot play these notes together. So we've got to find the C in a different spot. And that C is here on the 3rd fret on the A string. So we got A here, 5th fret on low E, C note, 3rd fret on A, and then already we've got the A note and the C together. But also with the triad, we need to add the perfect 5th. So to get from your C note to the E note, it's a distance of 4 frets. So we do the same thing. We find the note that's 4 frets up, so C to E here, 7th fret on A. But again, we can't play those 2 notes together on the same string, so we need to find a different E, which is the 2nd fret on D. And then that's how you build a triad chord using a scale and extra harmony. And as Jakob said in the chat, that's a chord used a lot by Dark Funeral. I can guarantee like 90% of Dark Funeral songs, or maybe even 100% of Dark Funeral songs, have that chord shape at some point. 1349 use it a lot, and a lot more interestingly than just tremolo picking the chords all the time. But yeah, that's literally my favorite chord ever, these minor triad shapes. Okay, so that's how you're able to build chords using a scale. And we're going to continue, because look, this is only the first chord that we've talked about in the scale. We've got 6 more to go through. So let's yeah, 1349, bloody ridiculous music theory wise. Yeah, if I had to do a stream where I was talking about like 1349 riffs, I would probably have to like spend half an hour just on like just that first part in Chasing Dragons or something. Put this guitar away for now. Right, okay. So Let's now break something down. Okay? So, A, C, and E. A to C is a minor third. A to C is a minor third. C to E is a major third. Okay? So there we have a root, interval, minor third, and a perfect fifth. Okay? Now, we also know that there are other types of thirds, like major thirds, and then we also know that there's other types of fifths, like flat fifths. And this is where the second chord is going to be a bit more tricky and weird. All right. So, guys, using your guitars from B, I'm just going to do. I'm just going to do this very quickly. Make a little box. Root note, third and fifth. Okay. So we want to work out now what type of triad the B is. So we have our notes B, and then we want to find, and then what we want to do is find out the intervals between the next notes. So from B to D, how many frets is that? If it's 3 frets, it's going to be a minor third. If it's 4 frets, it's going to be a major third. So if you go on your guitar, some people have already got it, yeah. But if you go on your guitar, the B note is going to be the 7th fret on A, and if you go and if you find D, that's 3 notes up. So if it's 3 frets, is that going to be a major or a minor third? We use the key here, minor third. Okay, so B is our root, then the D is our minor third. So I'm going to do that underneath here. I'm going to remove that A section as well. So B, D, F. So B to D is a minor third, and D to F. So if you go in a guitar, your D note is the 10th fret on low E, and the F note will be the 13th fret on low E. So how many frets distance is that from D to F? Is it 3 or 4? Let's see if you guys got it in the chat. D to F, is that 3 frets or 4 frets? Yes, someone got it. Cool. 3 frets again. So before, A, C, and E had, from A to C, it's a minor third, and from C to E, it's a major third. But this is different now. We have 2 minor thirds that we're stacking up together. So now let's use our guitar and work this out. So here we go. A is here. A, 5th fret on low E. C, 3rd fret on A. E, 2nd fret on D. If we break it down, A to C is a minor third. C to E is a major third. But here we're stacking up 2 minor thirds, because now we have the notes B, 7th fret on E, the D, which is the 5th fret on A, and then here, the F, which is the 3rd fret on D. So we've got a completely different chord now. So here we have a regular minor chord, and then here we have something called a diminished chord. Now, a diminished chord consists of a root, minor third, and flat 5. That's a diminished chord. Exactly, just like on the Hellfire riff, that's a diminished chord. That's a C diminished in Hellfire. Yeah? So that's the only difference between a regular minor chord and a diminished chord. A regular minor chord has a root, a minor third, and a perfect fifth here. But the diminished chord has the flat fifth, which is an interval of, which is the flat 5 interval, which is a 6th fret gap between the notes. So I'm going to explain that. I'm going to explain all of this again for those who are a bit confused, because it can get a little bit overwhelming to start off with. Let's get back to the guitar. The minor triad chord shape consists of a root note, minor third, and a perfect fifth. A diminished chord has a root note. Well, I'll do it in A. And a diminished chord has a root note, minor third, and a flat fifth. So chord shape-wise, the only difference between a regular minor triad, and a diminished triad is 1 fret. Because instead of having a perfect fifth, we have the flat fifth. And that's quite a cool thing that you can use in your riffs. Switching from diminished to normal minor triad. So has that clarified things up a bit? Root, minor third, perfect fifth, root, minor third, flat fifth. Yep, that's why, yeah, it's easier to kind of do it in the upper frets as well. Okay, so thankfully, that's the only time we have a diminished chord in the key of A minor. Okay, so I'm going to rub a bunch of stuff out to clarify and make things easier to read, because it's getting a bit like messy on this board. So I'm just going to redo everything and just add little keys here and there, just to Necrohotala Netten as well. Yeah, that's yeah, exactly the same. So A minor scale, harmonizing in thirds, harmonizing in fifths, we know this chord is A minor. We know this chord now, oops, that looks too much like an E, is B diminished. I'm just writing B dim there. Okay, a minor chord, root, minor third, perfect fifth. Diminished chord, root, minor third, flat fifth. Okay. Hello. Right, so do you guys know what a major chord consists of? What's the one thing that differentiates a minor chord to a major chord? Do you guys know that? There's one key difference, and I mentioned it earlier. Okay, let's recap. So your root note to a minor third is how many frets? How many frets from a root note to a minor third? How many frets? Yep, 3. Now, a root note to the major third is 4. So that's literally the only thing that changes, is that part here, the third. So we have a root, a major third, and a perfect fifth. So if I show you on guitar very quickly, I'm going to start with the diminished chord. Root note, minor third. And then we remember from a minor third to a flat fifth, it's another minor third shape. So we have frets 5, 3, and 1 on on E, A, and D. 5, 3, 1. So that's your diminished triad here. Root, minor third, flat fifth. The notes A, C, and E flat. Now, to change your diminished chord, oh shit, you can't even see on the, okay. To change your diminished chord to your minor chord, all you need to do is change the highest note, the perfect fifth. So that on the way we get to a flat fifth to a perfect fifth is up 1 fret. So root third, there's the flat fifth, plus 1, there's your perfect fifth. So there's your minor chord. Diminished chord, root, minor third, flat 5, minor chord, root, minor third, perfect fifth. Major diad plus, minor diad plus major diad. And now, how do we change from a minor chord to a major chord? We change the third and we go up by 1 fret. Minor triad, root, minor third is here. We move it up 1 fret, keep the fifth. Then we get this very optimistic sounding chord. And that is how you play your major triad. This is how you play your minor triad. You move the major third back. So from 4 on the A string, it goes to 3. This, if you hear the difference. Optimistic, sunshine, bunnies. Then, oh, it's getting a bit more stormy. The bunny is getting a bit angry now. And then we get to the diminished chord. Oh no. Bunny's dead. Major. Minor. Diminished. Yeah. So that's chord shape-wise the only difference between all of them. Does that make a bit more sense now, Jakob? Is that all a little bit more clear? Because I need to make sure that everyone is kind of on the same level right now. Okay, cool. I'll go through it a bit more. And then we'll run through it in a bit more detail. So let's not use any guitars now. And let's use our brains. So we want to find out the next chord here. So we already know it's a C chord. Yeah, but what type of C chord is it going to be? Is it going to be major? Is it going to be minor? Is it going to be diminished? Well, let's figure this out. So from C to E, we have a distance of 4 frets. And 4 frets is a major third. So it's going to be C major. But is it going to be like C major with like a flat fifth? Is it going to be C major with a sharpened fifth? Or is it all just, what type of fifth is it? Let's work it out. So from C to E, hello Oman. From C to E, we know that's a major third, so that's 4 frets. And then from E to G, how many frets is it from E to G? Nobody? Nobody? Okay. It's 3 frets. Yeah, someone just got it. Cool. So C plus C to E is a major third. And then from E to G is a minor third. Now, if your triad consists of a major third plus minor third, so if I show you on guitar, C to E, C is here, E is here, so that's major, and then we play the open string. That's very optimistic sounding. So that's going to be a regular C major chord there. Okay, so we can leave that as just a C. Okay, so if it's a major chord, root, major third, and perfect fifth. Now, let's I think that's all the music theory that we need to work on the next few chords now. Okay, so D, F, and A. Okay, so D to F, how many frets are there? We can use, oh, we can use the information that we have already now. This is where it gets like super easy. So remember, A to C is 3 frets and C to E is 4 frets. So we're using all of this previous information there. B to D is 3 frets, D to F is 3 frets. So now we're stacking all of these third intervals now. B or E in the 1, 3, 5, it's a minor. Not quite. Not quite. That'll be an inversion. That's something a little bit different. But we can use the same information that we know already now. So D to F is 3 frets. So we already know that this is going to be a type of D minor. But is it going to be diminished? Let's find out. We haven't done F to A, but we can work that out. So F to A is how many frets? 4. 3 plus 4 frets is 7. And then that's how you get your perfect fifth. So that's just a regular D minor chord. Okay. The reason why I have the numbers here is because, remember, the perfect fifth is 7 frets up and a flat fifth is 6 frets up. So if we go here back to the diminished chord, B to F is 3 plus 3, 6 frets. So that's why it's a flat fifth. And here, if you go from A to E, 3 plus 4 is 7 frets, and then that's how you get to the perfect fifth. So it all just becomes like maths now. Because look, if we see here before, E to G, how many frets is that? We can look here in this C chord. E to G is 3 frets. How do you do a 3 backwards? Like that, yeah. And then G to B, how many frets is it from G to B? We haven't done that yet. Do you guys know how many frets is it from G to a B note, from a G note to a B note? I need more response in the chat. G to B. Yeah. G to B, yes, 4 frets. Oh, I can't do 4s backwards, man. This is weird. Okay, that's gonna possible. Ah, yes. Yes, you guys got it. It's 4. So look, now math. 3 plus 4, E to B. That's 7 frets. So, root, minor third, perfect fifth. E minor. Oh, yeah, I need to make sure you guys can see. Okay, so this should slowly be unlocking now for a few people. Let's go through the next one. F to A. Have we got that here? Have we got any data? Yep. So F to A is 4 frets. So we know already root plus 4 frets equals major third. So it's going to be an F major, but is it going to be a flat fifth or a regular fifth? Let's work it out, because we have A to C, which we have the data here is 3 frets. So we do the math. 4 plus 3 is 7. So F to C, remember 7 frets is a perfect fifth, regular F chord, F major chord. And then G to D. G to B, we've got the data, 4 frets. B to D, we've got the data, another 3 frets. Oh, that's an E, bruv. That's not even a D. So if it's 4 frets from G to B, we know it's major. So it's going to be G major, because you've got your perfect fifth, a distance of 7 frets. I'm mostly trying to wait notes are. Okay, Jakob. I'm gonna. Okay, cool. That's very big point that I can help you guys with. Okay, so here's the triads, and now I'm going to explain a little bit more on guitar and what these 3s and 4s mean and everything. Okay, so let's go back to the guitar. Let's go right from ground 1, and then this should make a lot more sense now. A note here, 5th fret on the low E. Okay, A is here, 5th fret on low E. And then C, the note C is going to be 3 frets up. So we can use, instead of like counting the frets, you could just use your minor dyad chord shape. Because if you play this chord shape anywhere on the A, anywhere between the A and G strings, because it changes. So here, that will always be a distance of 3 frets. A and C, 5 and 8. A and C, 3 on A. So that's how you can easily work out minor thirds and 3 fret distances. Yeah, exactly. As long as you know the root note, you go 1 string down and 2 frets to the left. You found your minor third interval. And remember this. To get to your major third, all we need to do is add 1 fret to that. So here, major, bam, straight. That's the note that's 4 frets up. So that's a C sharp here. So by using those chord shapes, they can help you identify the type of triad you're playing. Because if we go back here, A, C, and E. A to C, your minor third. C to E is your major third. So we just put those together. Root, minor third, perfect fifth. So if we break that down, we have A to C, your distance of 3 frets, your minor triad, and then C to E, distance of 4 frets, to get the next part of your triad. Minor plus major triad, minor chord. Yeah, so that's how you can use your guitar to work stuff out. That's basically how I learned the fretboard, because I learned the notes on 1 string, and then I realized these octave shapes are exactly the same notes. And then it's just a case of like, oh, that's the same note, that's the same note, that's the same note. And then you kind of just unlock the fretboard that way. All right. So now let's use our guitar again for the B diminished. So this is comprised of 2 stacked minor thirds. B to D is a minor third, root to and minor third. And then D to F is another minor third. And remember, from B to F, it's 6 frets, so it's going to be a flat 5. So let's work it out on guitar. B note here, 7th fret on low E. We use the minor third chord shape to find the D note. And then from D to the F note, another minor third. We put that all together. D, 7th fret on A, 7th fret on E. D, 5th fret on A. F, a 3rd fret on D. Remember what chords are in the key? Yes. And that's exactly what I was going to talk about in a moment, but I just want to make sure that everything is all crystal clear before it's like, oh, these chords are in this key and that chord's in that key. I just want to make sure the actual theory of making these chords are 100% clear. So we've done our minor chord, A minor here. We've done our B diminished. And the next chord in the key is a C, C major. C to E is 4 frets, so we use our major chord shape. And then from C to E, from C to E, it's a major chord shape. And then from E to G, it's a minor chord shape. C to E, major chord shape, major diad shape. And then from the E to the G, minor chord diad shape. And then that's how you build the chord. Is that clear to everyone now? Does everyone understand? Put some fish emojis in the chat if you understand. Man like Mo. What's up? All right, cool. I want to see more fishes. Cool, we got a whale here. Whales and that. Cool. All right, sweet. So now it's you guys. All right, so we're going to make this a bit interactive in the chat. Okay. So D, F, and A. We know it's a D minor triad. Where should I put my fingers? Okay, and I'll give you guys a bit of a clue. Hello, someone new to the channel. Thanks for subscribing. Hello. Okay, so before you tell me the what chord shape and what fingers go where, I want to use the D note that is here, 5th fret on the A string. Okay, so I want you guys to tell me where I should put my other fingers, because we want the notes of F and A. Remember, it's a D minor shape. So where should I put my fingers? So there's your first note. I'm going to keep this up here. We want D, F, and A. Where should I put my fingers? It is that first chord shape. You're exactly right. But what frets do I put my fingers on? And I'm just going to read the chat real quick. What's a chord? A chord is a series of notes, but I'm pretty sure you know that. And oh, hell yeah, Pisces gang, rise up, yeah. Hello, Anna. This stream is, I want to keep it strictly theory black metal for now, but there's probably be like some random Q&A after this. But you guys are exactly right. 5, 3, and 2, and it's across the A, D, and G strings. So we've got a 5th fret here on the A string, which is your D note, and you've got your F note here, the 3rd fret on the D string, and then the 2nd fret on the G, which is your A note. D, F, A makes a minor chord. So if you remember that riff in Awas Aeon by 1349, there's that chord, D minor. So, okay, cool. Now you tell me where to put my fingers for the next chord, for the E minor. I'm going to sip more tea. Remember, it's a minor triad shape. Yep. Kevin, you got it again. Bam. 7, 5, 4. A, D, G. E to G. Yeah, hood classic. E to G, minor third shape. G to B, major third shape. Okay. Then the next one is a regular G major chord shape. Where do I put my fingers? Which strings, which frets? Remember, it's major, so we want to use a different chord shape. Root third, root, major third, perfect fifth. Where do we put the fingers? G, B, D, major chord shape. Where do I put my fingers? You are the teacher now. Kevin, you've got the chord shape right, but the frets are wrong. D5, G4. Ah, see, that's interesting because it's not going to be B on the second fret there, because that's a slightly different interval, because from G to B, it's a different gap of notes between the strings, because from the other strings, E to A, for example, that's a perfect fourth. From G to B, it's a major third. So it's going to be, yeah, exactly right. Chris has just got it. So it just shifts up one on the B. So that's one way you can play the G major. The chord shape I was looking for was this, 10, 9, 7, because it just relates to what we've learned already. Okay, now, so we've basically gone through the crux of what makes these chords in intervallic structure, and there is a formula to remembering the chords in a key. Okay, and it's quite simple. Each one of these chords has a numerical value. So A is the 1 minor, B is the 2 diminished, C is the 3 major, so we just keep that as capital. D, we have the 4 minor, E, the 5 minor, and F, we have the 6th major, and G is the 7 major. So chords 1, 4, and 5 in a minor key are always going to be minor. Chords 3, 6, and 7 are always going to be major, and the 2 chord is always going to be diminished. Yeah, so that's a very, very quick formula on how to work out chords in a key. All right, so we're going to change keys now. We're not going to talk about E anymore. We're going to start right from the beginning with this, and I want you guys to work out all of the chords. For the most part, Chris, yes, it does, especially with triads. If you're going from a minor triad to a diminished triad, then yeah, you can do that. It won't be exactly in the key, but fuck keys, and yeah, it'll sound cool. Cool. So now we're going to do the key of E minor. This is probably the most important key to us black metal musicians, because this you can apply if you're playing in all these different tunings and everything. Okay, so now let's remember the formula here. Okay, so chord 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. And now remember, you need to stack up the chords using thirds. So this note, and next note. All right. So chord number 1, we know already that it's going to be minor, but what are the notes? All right, I'll do the first one with you, and then I want you guys to tell me the rest. So E, we've got note number 1, the root note in the scale. So that's going to include the third, the minor third, because it's minor. Go up 1, go up 2, G. E to G is a minor third interval, and then G to B is 7th frets because G to B is a major third. And there we go. Those are the notes of your first chord, E minor. Okay. Now, oops, that G looks demented. What's going on there? Okay. I don't want to use guitars yet, but I want to just make sure the theory is down because this is what this stream is all about. Okay, cool. Now, there's our first chord. I've done it with you guys. Now it's your turn. We know that the next chord is going to be diminished, but what are the notes? So start on F sharp and then count accordingly. What's the next 2 notes that we need to make an F sharp diminished triad? British problems, I have run out of tea. We're starting on F sharp, yep. So we're going to go to A, 2 notes up, F, 1, 2 to A, then another 2 notes up to C. And be very, very careful to remember that this is an F sharp, not a regular F. If it's a regular F, that becomes something, a completely different scale. Okay? But cool, I think you guys are getting the hang of it now. So G, what's next? What's the next 2 notes after G? Remember, it's the third chord, so we know it's going to be a major chord. We know it's going to be G major. So what's the notes in G major? Let's count up. G, B, and D. Yes, could. Okay. All right, next one, A. Let's go up from A. Oh, I'm going to do this to make things easier as well, because the scale just goes back to E. It might help with you guys counting. A, C, E, yes. And what type of chord is it? It's the 4th chord in the scale, so it's going to be minor. Okay, cool. Now, you guys quickly for C, D, last 2 chords. Let's go, let's go, let's go. C, E, no, not F, because remember E, 2 up from E is G. So E is correct, C to E, C, D, E, 1, 2. Then from E, 1, 2 to G. Now the last one, oh, we didn't even do B. Anyway, I've just done that anyway. And then here from D. Another way to make it easier is just like go the next note up in the scale using these. Just, yeah. D, F sharp, and A. Okay? That's how you harmonize a scale. That's how you create chords from a scale. And now, I hope you guys have written this down because I want you to tell me where I'm going to put my hands on the guitar. So let's break it down. First chord, E minor. Where am I going to put my fingers? E, G, and B. Where am I going to put my fingers? It'll be just like how it was for when we did it with A minor. So I'm just going to put this here. E, G, B. Where do I put my fingers? Tell me which string, tell me which frets. There we go. If you're tuned in D standard, that's totally okay. You can just think of it as it is now. Oh, that's an interesting one. E0, A10, D9. Yeah, both answers are correct. It can be here, A7, D5, and G4. You could even do A10 and 9. You could even do E12, yeah. All of those are correct. The cool thing about this chord shape here is that you've got a bit more like presence and treble in the strings, so it sounds really snappy when you do the kind of things. Okay, cool. Next chord, F sharp, A, and C. Remember, this is what? It's a 2 chord, so it's diminished. Where do I put my hands? We got F sharp diminished. Remember the diminished chord shape, that stretchy one. Super stretch. Nobody? Nobody remember the diminished chord shape? 2 stacked minor thirds? We want it on F sharp. Where's F sharp? A9 is correct. D6, G3, that's not a diminished chord. That's like a type of suspended chord right there. But this note is entirely correct. Yeah, there we go. A9, D7, G5. There is your F sharp diminished triad. So you got an E chord here, then F sharp diminished triad here. Then now we have the next chord here, G, B, and D. Because it's the third chord, it's going to be a G major. Where would that be? Where would I put my hands for a G major? Come on, G major, G note, B note, D note. Where do I put my hands? Where do I put my fingers? E3, A5, D0. That would be a G power chord because you've got the D. We've got the D here, sorry, and a G. But remember, for it to be a minor triad, we need to add a B somewhere as well. So A10, G9, D9, G7. Yep. There's a G major here. D5, G4. And then, yeah, for that chord shape, it'll be 5, 4, 3 on the B string. Same chord. Okay, cool. I think we're slowly getting a bit more of the hang of it. All right, this one should be incredibly easy because we spoke about this a lot before, but the next chord is the 4th chord, so it's minor. A, C, E, A minor. Where do I put my hands? This is exactly what we talked about right at the beginning of the stream. Where do my hands go for A minor? Yes, Chris, you got it. Just like how it was right at the beginning. E, E, A, C, E, E5, A3, D2. There we go. There we go. There's There's a riff that has that in there. Yeah, Pantheon Eye, Wonder and His Shadow. That one there, and then yeah, it's using Nathikarna as well. Oh, there we go. And what's it called? Celestial Deconstruction. Anyway, so good. Ooh, I made a boo-boo here. 1 second. I've made an even bigger boo-boo. This is not good. All right, next chord. B, D, F sharp. It is the 5th chord, so we know it's going to be another minor chord. B, D, and F sharp. Where do we put where do we put our chord? Where do we put my fingers for the B minor chord? Where do we go? Oh, we got some new people. Hello, people. We are talking about triads. I'm not going to talk about inversions just yet because I need to make sure people get the normal shapes first before we talk about inversions, but that's what I'm going to talk about next. Yes, businessman. Yes, 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 yes. Now we're getting the hang of it. Yes. B minor right here. B, 7th fret on E. D, 5th fret on A. F sharp. 4th fret on D. Next chord. 6th chord in the scale, so we know it's going to be major. So C major. Where do I put my fingers for C major chord? Let's go. This should be super easy now. C major chord. Where do I put my fingers? We did this before with the A minor scale. A3, D0, G0. C. You're very, very close. If you want to play it there, it will be 3, 2, 0, because you got 3, 2nd fret on D, which is E, and a 0, which is G. But also on the E string 8, 5, 5th, yeah, E string 8, 5th string 7, D string 5, yep. That's another way to play C major. Exactly the same. If you think of it like your normal C major chord shape, it's just the first 3 strings. C, E, G. And the last one, 7th chord in the scale. So we know it's major. The 7th chord is major. Where do I put my fingers for a D major chord triad chord shape? Oh, is the audio okay now? It might just be my internet playing up or something. Evil in the cosmos. What about if I do this? So I just tried muting and unmuting. Let's see if that helped. Or it might just be a bit choppy because I started playing a bit more and YouTube doesn't like it when I play guitar. Chris, you're so close. That's an inversion of a different chord. That's a main inversion. I was choppy even when not playing. It must be some internet thing going on. I don't know. Hang on. Let me just make sure. I'm just going to close a few things. is it better now? Because I've just tried getting rid of a few things on the internet. I'm even going to turn the internet off. I'm even going to go to data on my phone now and everything. Still weird. I was okay. True black metal streams. Okay, cool. Okay, thought as much. Okay. Okay. Okay, very good, very good. All right. Back to it. D, F sharp, A. I think someone got it in the chat, but yeah. 5th fret on A, 4th fret on D, 2nd fret of G. And yeah, so you can do that with any. Oh, I dropped my bloody thing. You can do this with any single minor key and even a major key if you so wish, because as long as you know this and the intervals that create each chord shape, then you will be able to yeah, just do this in any key and everything. But we talk in minor keys because it's just easier to understand in a black metal sense. But if it's in a major key, then you basically start here. So it's G major as the 1, A minor as the 2, 3 as the diminished chord, etc., etc. So you can just use all the stuff that you know already, but it just gets shifted up a little bit. And okay, cool. So very quickly, we're going to talk about. I'm going to keep it like super simple. When it comes to inversions, I'll talk about triad inversions another time. But what I'm going to talk about today are power chord inversions. Okay. Because you guys have all played them before, but I think it's important to understand the music theory behind them as well. Harmonic minor is a little bit different compared to the regular minor. But yeah. Yes, there is a point, and you just got to just think about this a lot, and then it's yeah, you just got to think about this a lot, and then it's going to be a lot easier. And then the more you practice it, and the more you figure it out, like the easier it's going to be. Triads leaving true cult territory. Good. The true cult creates terrible music. And right, let's talk about power chords. Power chords. Power chords. Power chords usually have a root and a perfect fifth. And a root to the perfect fifth is 7 frets. Now, you can, of course, stack the power chords. So you can do root, perfect fifth, plus your root. Yeah. So to play that on guitar, I'm sure everyone's done it. Let's start. Actually, you know, I should give you some notes as well. Bloody hell. Root note, A. Perfect fifth, as we've worked out, up from A is E. And then we go back to our root note, which is another A, but a higher A. Yeah. So now let's translate that onto guitar. Root note A, 5th fret on low E. Perfect fifth is an E. I'm going to twist the laptop that way. Yes, there we go. Perfect fifth is an E, which is the 7th fret on the A string. So that's how you get your regular power chord shape, which everyone has played. Everyone has played that chord shape. Everyone has also played this chord shape. Root, perfect fifth, plus another root. Root, perfect fifth. Now another root is here. We have an A note here on the D string on the 7th fret. So we play this, which everyone has played before. There's your 2-note power chord shape, your dyad shape because it's 2-note, And then you've got your triad power chord shape, because it's 3 notes. Diad, triad, diad, triad, triad, 3 notes, diad, triad, diad, diad, triad. I think I've hammered that in enough now. But what if we swap the notes around? What if we do A, E, A? Or E, A, E? We've done A, E, A. E, A, E. No, I'm doing this wrong. Yeah, E, A, E, yeah. Then all you do is just play a different chord shape. So when it comes to power chord inversions, triads are chord, yes, exactly. But a triad is specifically a 3-note chord. But we can go E, A, E. So we're starting with the 5th. There's our root note, and then we're stacking up another perfect 5th. This is called an inversion. This is where when you play the same notes in a different order. So a power chord inversion is this chord shape, where you bar the E and A. So it'll be 12, 12, 14. So that will be your A inversion, because the root note now is starting on the A string. Does that make sense? We just swap the notes around and it creates a different chord shape. I'll show you guys on the guitar again. So if we want an say for example G power chord here, we have the notes G and D. G being our root, D being our perfect 5th. Then we can have another G here. And then all we do with the inversion is swap the notes around. So instead of starting on the G, we start on a D. D is here, 10th fret on low E. D is 10th fret on A. Sorry. I am losing my mind. There's your D, sorry, 10th fret on E. G, which is the 10th fret of A. And then we have another D. Same chord, but inversion. It's all good. Chris, sleep well. Yeah, that's right. So with these inverted power chords, you know, I picked them up from Dimmu Borgir, and Dimmu Borgir picked it up from Peter from Hypocrisy, because he did all the engineering stuff. But all those super heavy chords that you can play even in standard tuning are just power chord inversions. So just to go over like the theory of it again, if we start off with like a regular E power chord here, you've got a low E, which is your root note. You got your B note, which is the perfect 5th. And then you do that here, but instead of starting on the E, you start on the B, 7th fret of A, 7th fret of E, sorry. The E is 7th fret of A. And then you got another B here. To get your power chord inversion. And that's a very quick introduction on inversions. And that's as far as I want to take it with the music theory today, because it's already a lot to take in, especially in an hour and 20 minutes, going through all the scales and working out all the intervals or whatever. So I'm just going to like chill on stream for a bit and answer any questions. Yeah. So with those inverted power chords, generally, yeah, the root note is on the A string. Yeah, if it's these chord shapes, yeah. But then if you play it, the root note will be on the D string. So in that chord shape, the root note is in the middle. Yeah. So that's music theory. glad you yeah, glad you enjoyed the stream. I'm probably gonna do a few more of these. But this is a lot of like black metal 101 turned into theory. But the audio problem should be all right now, hopefully. Maybe. Okay, is it better now? Yeah, it's getting still choppy. 1 second. Okay, hopefully it's better now. I'll mute the mic for a bit. And yeah, sounds like darkness still. Should be okay now. Hang on. I believe it will sort itself out. Is it better now? Hello? Is it me you're looking for? I see the words. Seriously, it's not better. That's annoying, man. Fretboard radius. No idea. Alright, 1 second. Okay, is that okay now? Is it okay now? Oh my god. 1 second. Okay, is that better now? Seriously. Okay, what about... there's really not that much that I can do. I'm just gonna keep talking and typing in the chat. Yeah, I've unplugged and plugged it in and everything. Okay, what about now? All right, nice. All I did was turn it off and on again, but I had to do that 7 million times. But yeah, we rolling, we balling. Cool. Oh, okay. I know exactly why that's happening, because I go about this in my course Black Metal Beginnings, which you should get. But what you need to do is when you're playing power chords, the tip of my index finger is touching the low E. That's why you're having troubles muting, because this tip of your finger when you're playing power chords on the A string should be gently touching the low E to mute it, and you're probably not doing that. The Norwegian reset. Yeah. Calling IT. Have you tried turning it on and off again? But yeah, if you're struggling with sliding up and down power chords on like the A string, and you're still playing that low E, you are not muting that low E string with the tip of your finger. My favorite triad is the E minor one, the one that we just learned. Hang on. Yeah, so 1 second. I'm going to put it in the chat because it's like hella important, basically. So look, if you've got like any issues or if you're struggling with anything regarding the playing or sliding power chords or tremolo picking or muting or whatever, on my Patreon I've got my black metal beginnings course, which is literally the best thing I've done for the new guitarist or anyone looking to just learn from the ground up. I'm going to go through the questions one by one. I'm going to do Kevin's first, which is the serpentine sibilants. Serpentine sibilants, I think, is just that inverted power chord here on the E flat, then the triads, F to G to G sharp. So that, I think that's how it's done. Yeah, if you send me a video on Instagram, Kevin, and I can see if I can work it out a bit. But it might also be the triad, like the minor triad, but adding in the low E, so it becomes like there. All right, the next one. Oh, those are still triads, but that's a ninth chord, and that's C major. Yeah, that's like a C major with the sharp 5 kind of thing. That's what Varg does. They're still triads, but it's like it's just basically a C major inversion with a flat fifth. And the first chord is the E power chord, then it goes to an E9, and then it goes to that inversion. Yeah, you've got to be like super precise with that as well. What do I use to record? My Focusrite interface. That basically does everything. For most videos now, I just use my IRs, also available on my Patreon pinned comment. And my IRs are captures of these cabs behind me. So it's a capture of the Marshall and a capture of the Black Star. And then in the videos that I use to record, it's basically archetype Gojira. So I plug into the interface, I use Logic, and then I use archetype Gojira to get like the general amp EQ or whatever. And then instead of using the Gojira cabs, which are a little bit dull sounding, I just use the captures of my thing. You can download my presets on it's on Patreon. You'll be able to get it off the Patreon. It's all there, and everything invested on Patreon and everything goes back into the channel anyway. So yeah, the more patrons I get, the more cash flow there is for the business, I guess. And then I'll be able to get like better mics and recording equipment for videos. When I play big chords, I can't hear the other strings over the low E for some reason. Is that one plugged in or acoustically? Because if it's plugged in, it might be a tone thing. Because there's some pickups, like there's like some pickups that are just a bit like cheap-ish sounding, so they sound quite dull, and it's Yeah, it might be a pickup thing, but it most likely will be an EQ thing, or old strings, because that can sometimes happen as well. But all the thing is like the low E string is naturally going to be the loudest note because it's got the most mass behind it as well. But yeah, it's most likely an EQ thing. Turn down the bass. Definitely turn down the bass. See if that helps. Try boosting up the treble and the presence as well. But yeah, no, it's all good. That's what I'm here for, to help all of you folks wanting to learn more about this craft. How big of an audience do you have? It depends on the show, man. The biggest audience that I had was probably Incineration Festival, 2014. That was like 600 people or whatever. That was pretty dope. It was about similar when we supported Suda. It was Suda's first ever UK show, and my band supported them at the time at the garage. That was 2015. That was a great gig. We covered Mother North with Premature Birth back in the day. That was fun. Yeah, I used that exact amp head for the Shooter show and Incineration Festival. So this amp has technically seen my biggest audience as well. Yeah. Hand anchoring on the bridge for tremolo picking. Watch my latest video because I talk about that. And the quick answer is I think it's ridiculous. Because if you are using a Floyd guitar and oh, cheers. Oh, thank you, everyone. But yeah, what I was talking about, yeah. So the reason why I do not rest my hand on the bridge when tremolo picking is because if you are using a Floyd Rose, you're just going to sharpen the note and it's going to sound terrible. So really the best thing to do is anchor here with your forearm so your hand stays in one spot, and then you hook on with your little finger or your ring finger, and then that way you get I find a lot more relaxed hand and a much more solid technique. Because yeah, I just don't like keeping my hand on any bridges because, you know, with a Floyd, it's just going to sound awful. How do I deal with fret buzz? Fret buzz is the enemy, man. Like, you've just got to... The only way you can get rid of... people are arriving. Yeah, so with fret buzz, you've either got to raise the action, lower the strings, or get the frets trimmed. Fret buzz is the enemy, and I hate it. Amped Roots has a different tone every time. That's really strange. Amped Roots is a really good software for the price anyway. I don't know why it'll change each time. But hey, only 7 Juan, you should listen to my band, Ereshkigal. We use I use my 7-string on that. Hang on. I'm just gonna put Ereshkigal's Bandcamp in here as well. You should check out my band, bro. We use like we do brutal stuff. Yeah, frets fixed for stuff. Yeah, man. Like this bass has the worst fret buzz I've ever experienced, and it's even worse because it's a bass. Yeah, but yeah, fret buzz is the enemy, and I just can't stand it. Even when it's plugged in, I can feel that vibration, and I hate it. Seen Top Gear, bruv. I love Top Gear. It's like the best show ever. I've seen every episode. I watch it almost every day. Top Gear is like, you know, you watch it when you're eating lunch, and you watch Top Gear when you're having dinner as well. And every time I'm not eating or having lunch or having dinner, I'm behind my laptop working on YouTube videos or playing guitar to work on more videos or other stuff or band things or recordings or whatever. Yeah, man. Yeah. Top Gear is the best, bro. What's some of the best Top Gear episodes? I really like the one where they did where it was the British Leyland episode where they got the old British Leyland cars. That was a cool one. the one where they built the the hammerhead eagle eye thrust, whatever it's called, or Jeff. I've seen that car in real life as well. That's a good episode. I watched that one today. I also liked, there was this one episode, I think it was like season 5, where they had the McLaren F1, they had the Pagani Zonda, Jaguar XJ220, Carrera GT, Ferrari Enzo. That was a magical episode. That's awesome. Today on Top Gear, Shooter dude, Emil, Shooter's drummer, is a beast, and he's a really nice dude as well. Yeah, proper chill. He's like yeah, like if you speak to him, you just never expect that he's like this insanely powerful drummer. He's almost like an elf in a way. He's like he belongs in fucking in Rivendell. It's amazing. I want to stop creating. Oh, okay. Dissection is easy because it's all natural minor scale. It's all natural minor scale. All of those kind of things. And then just as a little twist, they use a little bit of harmonic minor. So that's dissection in a nutshell. It's all that Swedish Melodeath in Flame stuff, but a bit more black metal-y, and throwing in a natural minor scale and harmonic minor fusion of both. So yeah, right, Robin, yeah, gang. Yeah, you'll be surprised how often that happens in rehearsals and gigs where the cymbal stand just can't take the drums. Trembar for black and death metal, yeah, that's cool. I mean, it's all good. Like I know Imperial Triumphant do that crazy stuff. Yeah, that's it. Natural minor and harmonic minor. Just yeah, use both of them. Chords and riff style, dude. That's the Shalva and Sargstar style of playing on the Pantheon I albums. It's mainly based around the chord shapes than it is the actual keys on that, but it's a lot of just like full minor chords, you know, that kind of stuff, and these immortal style chords and a whole bunch of ninth chords and like triad inversions. Those are the kind of things that are on the Worlds I Create stuff. But Pantheon I is just proper good guitar playing, especially on Worlds I Create. Like, what a cool album. Do I find palm positioning being a bit strange? No, because it's easier on the flying V's to get palm mutes for me, because it's so much more like relaxed and with my body, like my hands in the middle here. It's not like this. I'm not playing like this. So when doing all the palm mute stuff, it's even easier. Like I can't play super fast on normal shaped guitars, because as much I love this Dean, like it's one of the nicest playing things, but playing like super quick, like especially like all the 1349 kind of stuff, it's really difficult because my hand's in such an awkward place. I feel so like that. What do I think of the Evertune bridge? So the Evertune bridge, I like the idea of it as a concept. I have never had enough experience with one to say whether I think it's the best thing ever, or find out its quirks and features. That's a Doug DeMuro reference. But with the Evertune, what I find is that it feels really notchy on the guitar. So on a Floyd, you can see here that your hand is completely flat on the bridge, and I really like that feeling because it's so neat and like so like natural in a way. With the Evertunes, I can feel all 6 kind of saddles kind of digging in a little bit. So but I need to, the thing is like I was honestly like, the plan was to, instead of get the single pickup tunematic version of this, the plan was to get the Evertune version, but I got this one from Dean instead, and I'm kind of thankful for it. Because it's the coolest looking Z shape that Dean sell. Yeah, but like with Evertunes, I don't like how they feel on my wrist, but I need to get an Evertune guitar so I can see what it's like for myself, basically. Battery's a fine day to die. Yeah, that could be a good tutorial. Tutorial. Bum bum bam bum 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 bum. Da na 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 bum bum bum. Yeah, I could probably do that as well. I see what's saying for myself. I'm fine at keep on. Yeah, that can be a thing because the flying V's force you to use more of your like wrist movements. And it's kind of like a different position. If you're used to this, it's a little bit more looks so suggestive. But if you're playing like this, it might be a bit difficult to then play like that. Hang on, why doesn't you play from earlier albums? I guess they just don't want to play it. I'm not in 1349. But you know, they play Riders of the Apocalypse as well. Yeah, they play Riders. They played Blood is the Mortar when I saw them at Inferno. But the thing is, like 1349 just made a new album, so they're going to want to play songs off the new album. So yeah, yeah, I've heard like Evertune's meant to be quite good in the studio as well. Another thing that I found strange with Evertune is kind of the way the strings respond, because if you pick hard on a regular guitar, it changes the pitch of the strings. So the Evertune just sounds more kind of like, I don't want to say dead, like it's more correct, but it doesn't have that natural kind of guitar response sometimes. But the thing is, like, I need to honestly, I want an Evertune guitar so I can figure this thing out for myself and find out what it's good for and everything. Top 3 black metal guitarists. Oh god damn it. Oh, I could do a top 5. I could do a top 5 black metal guitarists. Blasphemer, Archaon, Shalva, Blackthorn, Snorre. He's so creative, and Isan. Yeah, that's the top 5. But yeah. All right, one. Take it easy. Yeah, Marshall JDM1. I've not used that one, but I would recommend, if you're going to get a Marshall, get the JVM, or if you want the more old school sound, get the VS100. Underrated. It's super underrated. Which Shining? If it's the Swedish Shining, I have not many positive opinions on them. If we're talking about the Norwegian Jazz Shining, they're a little bit more interesting. Marshall JDM1. No, I've not used JDM though. But yeah, Frost belongs on the list for black metal drummers. So oh, in Iceland. If there's any of those, yeah, if you've got any of those in an Icelandic music store and you like it, then yeah, no reason not get it. Oh, dude, Destructor is so good. His stuff in Merkskog's amazing. Yeah, yeah, but for like top 5 and as an influence on me, I love the dude, but he's got to be like he's like top. He's definitely top 10, but for the top 5 and top 3, it sucks. But the other guys have been a bit more influential. Shining movie good. Yep. Shining band bad. Yep. Yeah, that's a quick way to put it. All right, cool. I'll give it a couple more minutes because I'm feeling hungry and I want to eat some food because I am getting hungry. Last few questions. Let's go. Let's go. Nobody, nothing about playing or anything, or Top Gear or cars or bands. Oh, Swedish Shining. Oh, nah, I don't like them. Don't like them. Shooter Songs for Lessons. Yeah, Mouth of Madness. Kill for Satan. Malignant Coronation. Yeah. Yep. That'd be cool. Possessed. Helvete. Yep. Cool. Good night, geezer. All right, cool. I'll do one more question and then we'll call it a day. Oh, we got 2 pickups. Okay. I like active pickups more. I've never tried a Black Winter, but I need to try one. Favorite Gorgoroth era is Gohil era. There we go. Nice and quick. Cool. All right. Have a good night, everyone, and take it easy.